right, so we are going to talk about Google Slides today. I titled this kind of the what, the why, and the how. I'm going to try to get a feel of how familiar you guys are with slides. I'm basics familiar and a few advanced features familiar. So when Chris and we were talking, I was like, I'll do this presentation, but I'm not super deep into it either. So I'm hoping to learn something from some of you if you've used it a lot. If you were at the Google conference, some of the things that I'm going to share today are from some of the presentations we went to. So I kind of pulled in some of that stuff that I learned as well. So I was really excited to be able to incorporate some new stuff. So the first part, I did add this to the classroom, but this is also a link to the presentation because there's a couple of interactive activities that we're going to do on here. So if you either pull it up, you can put in this URL and it'll pull up the presentation so that you can do some quick clicks on things, or there'll be links as we go, so it's kind of up to you. But I did include that, and it is on the classroom. This whole presentation is on the classroom page too. So if you have it open on there.
It's the first thing in the screen.
Yes, I think it's the, yeah, because I posted it this morning at 12:30. So when I was finally deciding I was done. All right, so how many of you have used Google Slides in your classroom at all so far? Or in your personal life?
Students.
Okay.
The slides.
Okay. Would you say that you're a little bit familiar, kind of familiar, pretty familiar? Pretty familiar? Okay. All right. So we won't go into a whole lot of details, but one part that I had to talk about when I talk about slides is a lot of people are like, why do I use slides? I use PowerPoint. I've used PowerPoint my whole life. Why do I use slides instead? And I'm just like, because it's free and it's part of your Google suite, and your students all have access to it. So you guys in the middle school age group, your kids might still have some experience in PowerPoint, but my personal kids don't, and our elementary kids that are coming in, they don't anymore. They don't even know what PowerPoint is. So this is what they know. So that's why we need to learn it as well. So I was just going to take you into Google Slides and show you a few things. This is something that I learned that I didn't know that we had. I use the template gallery at the top a ton because I like to use something that's already created so I can whip something together. My presentation today was a template that was already designed. But if you go up in the template gallery up here at the top, there is actually a USD 353 template gallery. So if there's something that you use or that you create that other people might use, you can upload it to that so that other people have access to that. And right now, there's nothing that is on here. I don't know who it goes to when you submit a template. I'm not sure who gets to see it yet and who approves it to be added on there. But there is an option, so if you do create something that maybe your other team members could use, or if you're an English teacher and you create something for your vocabulary words and you thought somebody else could use that template, you can upload it on here so other English teachers or math teachers can share it as well. So it's kind of something I didn't know existed until the Google training. So I thought that was cool and something that I wanted to make sure to share. So if people decide to do something, they can upload it. But the template gallery is really nice because it has all kinds of things for you to choose. Right now, our kids are doing flashcards for vocabulary words, and they love this. They think it's a cute little flashcard, a picture in the middle, and they think that's just the greatest thing ever. And we use the certificates when we print certificates and things. So, but there's also lots of other templates in there that don't relate to education that you could use. If you're a business teacher, there's some business ones that are a little more professional with graphs and things on them and fun stuff in there. So you don't have to create your own and design your own, but you can. So that is all right. A lot of times I just start a blank one in here. This is where I create my newsletters and things that I send home to my parents. I create them in here as well because it's easier to move graphics around and your text around, and it's just fun. So I like to use this quite a bit. So over on the side, there's some themes that just have your regular colored backgrounds and different stuff at the top and the bottom of your slides. But But what I like to do, especially for my newsletter, is I go up here into the page setup and file, and then sorry, that's where it is. Isn't that where you change the size? Oh, you go to custom.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go down to custom. It was already pulled up on my other computer. But you can go up to custom, and then you can change it so that it's a vertical slide instead of horizontal. So that's what I do for my newsletters. So you can change it so that it is
Where was that at again? Where did you
8.5
go?
by 11.
File, page setup, file, page setup. Thank
If
you.
you go to file and page setup, then you can change it to custom. And then when you go to custom, then it will flip your slides so they're like 8.5 by 11 page. So, and then you can make them bigger or smaller depending on if you wanted to make posters with things. You can have them bigger if you have access to be able to print those. And things like that, they can make different sizes for posters and things too. So you can customize how big you want each slide to be. So, that was one thing that I use a lot because I do newsletters. And so I like them being printed. Parents look at them weird if they're not. So, but that was one thing that is something that a lot of people don't know about, is being able to change that. A few of the main, since you guys are familiar, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the basics of changing things. But a lot of it is like PowerPoint. You can change your font, you can change your layout, you can change your color, you can add text box, you can add pictures. What I like is that you can add pictures straight from the web. So if you click straight to the web up here where it says search the web, it'll take you straight out there so you can insert pictures that you find on the internet that you want to use instead of having to save them first. So, but you can also pull from your actual photos if you say back up your photos to Google Photos. You can use those too. So
That would have been good to know when I was helping the kids, because I didn't know you could go straight to the web. We were
Yes.
saving it and then.
I did that too until I found out that was there.
Now I know, so the next time.
Yeah, but if you do have something from your computer, you can use that also. And then if they want to take a picture of something, if you want them to take a picture of a stop sign and put it in their thing, and she has the stop sign here, they can have it on their camera on their computer and take a picture of it right there too. So, the image thing, the little kids like that, they think it's cool to be able to do something like this. So, but there's all kinds of options along the top. Changing transitions is where I'm at with my second graders. Getting them to add transitions from slides to slide. Trying to keep it not too fancy, but enough where they think it's cool to be able to watch it pixelate and things like that. It's something fun. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on that since you guys, I know. I was a little yes. This was my why, which you guys kind of already know. You can access it on any device. You can work on it offline, and then it'll save when you go back on the internet, just like everything else Google. I showed you the 353 domain, but if you make templates to send out to your students, do you guys know about the master template and how to do that? You create something on a master template so the students can't change it.
No.
Okay. If you like create a background on or put it, if you want them to have a certain format all the way through it when you're creating it. You go up to View and then Master. And when you go to View and Master, this is your slide that you're editing, and then it will be the background where the kids cannot move anything that's already set. So if you want it set with a certain area for the header and a certain text box and they can't move it, you set that on here. And then when you close out of it, it'll stay on there, and so nobody can, kids can't move it.
It's a background for the team.
I believe so. I believe I already said it.
You know, shared one for each kid
Mhm.
page, and then it'll change the background whenever you go.
Yes. Yes, yes, I believe once you set it in here, I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it because I haven't shared anything out with my students quite yet. We're getting there, but we haven't fired up for it yet. That's supposed to be after
That
summer
was
break.
under form.
But it's under View and then Master.
So they can still edit things, but they can't change whatever you put on
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So
So,
certain
yeah.
things are locked, but they can still.
Yeah, so it like sets up the layout, it sets the layout.
If I ask a question and then put in the text box.
Right. Yeah, they can insert a text box and add things to it, but they can't change your question that you put at the top. So yeah, again, that was under view and then master. And then after you're done with your slides, and you don't have to do that on every slide, just on the ones that you for sure don't want the kids to change the format of. And then you just close out of that, and then it goes back, and it looks just like a regular PowerPoint or regular slides presentation that you're doing, and the kids don't even know that they can't.
You do it for document, or you have to do it for every slide?
I think if you add slides on here, and then when you go in to viewing on the master, you have to change, you can set it for each slide, I believe. I don't think it does the whole.
It looks like I'm just looking at one of mine, it looks like I have to do for each slide.
Yes, I believe you have to do each slide. You have to set it. I don't know if it. Right.
Okay, so I'm just copying the slide.
I was saying you want them all to be the same.
And that, yeah, and then, yeah, once you set it as a master and then you copy the slide, it should say that as a master, so the background would be locked or whatever you have on there would be locked. But if you have different slides, you would want to create them differently. If you had a different kind of background, you want to do each one separate. Okay, so these are a few ideas that I thought would be good for elementary, middle, high school, kind of across the board, just so I wasn't sure who all was coming today. So the first one, a couple of these I have set up for us to do, and then a couple of them are just some ideas for you. So the first one is the introduction. So if you have it pulled up, this presentation pulled up, you can go to the link on the presentation, but if not, I will make this full slide in just a minute. But when you create something that's going to be collaborative with your kids, the one thing that she said that this stuck with me because I didn't really think about it is to have a direction slide so that they are going, what do I have to do this way? What do I have to do constantly? The directions are here. So they know on the very first slide of the whole group presentation, it would have the directions on what is expected to be on their slide. So they are always being able to reference it. That would be something I would create on a master so that they cannot change my words. And they
I
can't
always
change
make
it.
sure to add on there, you should not mess with other people's
Right.
slides.
Yes.
Because that might just be one of those things, but then I tell them I can go do their history and tweet it.
Right, right. Yes. So that would be something this was something that we used at the conference, so it was adults doing things.
Right.
But that would be something that I would probably put on here as well if it was my students, or something about not, don't really mess with anybody else's thing. But you can see on here where it says to add a new slide, put your name at the top. What's your professional role? What are you hoping to learn today? And then you can add something to personalize your slide. I changed my background on there, and I added a picture. Daisies are my favorite flowers, and they go on things. So I added those to the bottom. Maybe they'll remember tomorrow. I had it down there. So this was my slide. But as people are editing or adding their slides, you can see them adding over here, and you can see people putting their information. One, it's a good way for people to get to know the other people in their group without having to walk around and talk. Well, I mean, why did we do that anymore? But for the kids, like a get to know you type activity, which also gets to know slides as well. But you can make it whatever topic. This is just an introduction one. But you could use any other topics if you want to go to add a slide about their favorite animal. And then they can tell you what their favorite animal is, find a picture for it, something like that. Just something basic to introduce slides to them. This would be an easy way to do that.